I've used dating apps off and on since college. Nothing serious, mostly out of boredom. Just the usual scrolling late at night, half hoping for a decent connection, half just passing time. Last year, I was using an app called Connectly. It's like Tinder, but supposedly with more serious users. I don't know why I even tried. I wasn't really looking for love. But one night, I saw someone that stopped me mid-scroll. His name was Jason. Just a few photos, nothing flashy. One with a dog, another at a brewery. He had one of those vague bios. Just moved to town, looking to meet someone real. Something about his eyes made me pause. Not warm, not cold, just kind of still. I swiped left, not right. Left. And that's the thing. We never matched. But he still found me. The first weird thing happened 3 days later. I was walking my dog, Scout, around 9 p.m. We do the same route every night. One big loop through the neighborhood, mostly well lit. That night, a dark gray SUV crawled past us, slower than normal. I remember because it didn't have headlights on, just those dim running lights. When I glanced over, the driver was wearing a hoodie and staring straight ahead. I couldn't make out his face, but I got that weird gut feeling. The kind that tells you something isn't right even if you don't know why. Scout barked once, sharp and sudden. The SUV sped up and disappeared around the corner. I thought maybe I was overreacting. But still, I went home faster than usual. The next day, I got a message on Connectly, but not from a match. It was from Jason, the guy I'd swiped left on. The app doesn't allow unmatched users to message each other, but there he was. His message was short. You should be more careful walking alone at night. I felt a cold sweat break on my neck. How did he know? I checked the app again. His profile was gone. Just poof, like it was never there. I reported the message to the app, but their automated response just said they'd look into it. No way to speak to an actual human. Typical. I considered deleting my profile, but I wanted to keep it up just in case something else happened. Like evidence. Just in case. That night, I didn't take Scout out. I stayed in, all the blinds closed. But around 11:30 p.m., I heard something outside. Not footsteps, not a car. Whistling. Low, slow, off tune. It was coming from the backyard. Scout growled, something he almost never does. I tiptoed to the back window and peeked through a sliver in the blinds. Nothing. Just darkness. But the whistling kept going for another minute, and then stopped. The silence was somehow worse. 2 days passed with nothing. I started to convince myself it was over. Maybe just someone messing with me. But then the final straw happened. I came home from work around 6 p.m. and saw something tucked into the corner of my front door. At first I thought it was a flyer, some local pizza place or whatever. But it wasn't. It was a Polaroid photo of me, walking Scout, same clothes I wore 3 nights ago. It had been taken from behind a bush near the edge of my street. I recognized the angle. It was my neighborhood. On the back of the photo was a single word: smile. I called the police. They took it seriously at first. An officer came by, took the photo and my statement. I showed them the app, the message, the SUV description. They filed a report but didn't promise much, just that they'd keep an eye on the area. I asked if I could get access to footage from nearby doorbell cams or traffic cams. They said that would require a warrant, and they didn't have enough to justify one. Nothing ever came of it. Jason, or whoever he was, never contacted me again. But I moved 3 weeks later. New apartment, new routine, new number. Still, sometimes I wake up at night swearing I heard that same off-tune whistling outside. And every time I open a new app, I wonder, what if I already swiped past him again, and he's just waiting for me to forget, to let my guard down so he can start over? I've always been careful on dating apps. I never share my full name, my address, or even the specific area where I live. First dates are always in public places, and I never give out my number until I've chatted with someone for a while. So, what happened with Ethan has stayed with me longer than any bad date or ghosting ever could. Because we never even met. We matched on Hinge. He was handsome, well spoken, and had this dry sense of humor that I liked. He told me he worked in architecture and had recently moved from Oregon to my city for a new job. Our conversation was normal at first. He asked about my work, my hobbies, music taste, even favorite coffee shops. I kept it vague, said I worked in design, lived on the north side, and liked iced oat milk lattes. I thought nothing of it. He was flirty, but respectful. When he asked to meet in person, I told him I was free the following weekend and suggested a cafe near a popular bookstore downtown. He said that sounded perfect. Everything felt fine. That was Wednesday. On Thursday morning, I found a note tucked under my windshield wiper. It was one of those little, half-sized yellow sticky notes. Just 5 words. Can't wait to see you. No signature, no handwriting I recognized, just that. I froze. I was parked in the open, not in a garage, not under surveillance. But the thought of someone walking up to my car overnight made my skin crawl. I brushed it off. Maybe a prank. A random note. It had to be. Still, I locked my doors before I left for work. That same night, Ethan messaged me. So, iced oat milk lattes, huh? I had one today. Pretty good, actually. The timing struck me. I'd never told him where I get my coffee, just that I liked them. I replied, Nice. Try the one at Story House Cafe. It's my favorite. And then I waited. He didn't respond until the next morning. Already did. That's when I got this deep pit in my stomach. I hadn't even told him the cafe's name until after he tried it. Had he guessed? Or had he followed me? I stopped messaging him after that. On Saturday, I canceled the date. I sent a short, polite message. Hey, sorry, something came up. I can't meet this weekend. He replied with, Already figured that. Hope the oat milk was worth it. That was the moment I knew something was very wrong. I hadn't posted anything online. I hadn't shared anything publicly. There was no way he should have known where I went or what I ordered. The next morning, I noticed something in my mailbox. It was a photo, not printed, just a regular 4x6 photo, no envelope, no note. It showed me standing in line at Story House Cafe. Looking down at my phone, I was alone, and the picture had been taken from across the street. I called the police. They came to my apartment, took the photo, and asked if I had any suspects. I gave them Ethan's profile name and our messages. They said they'd look into it, but unless he made a direct threat, there wasn't much they could do. I deleted my dating app accounts that night. Changed my locks a few days later. For a while, things were quiet. But the real twist came 2 weeks later. I was visiting my parents. They live about 30 minutes out of town. When my mom casually mentioned a man had come by the house asking for me, I froze. What do you mean a man? She said he was polite, tall, kind of quiet, said he was an old friend from college. She hadn't let him in, thankfully, but he'd asked if I was staying there. I hadn't told Ethan anything about my parents, their last name, or even the town they live in. When I asked what he looked like, she said, "Well, he reminded me of your dad when he was younger." That's when it hit me. I had posted a photo on Instagram months ago. It was me and my dad fishing. Our last name was tagged. He must have found it and used it to track them down. I deleted every trace of myself online after that. Scrubbed social media, changed all usernames, set everything to private. I haven't used a dating app since. I still don't know what he wanted, whether he was just watching or planning something worse. But to this day, I sometimes think about the fact that I never gave him my number, my address, or even my real last name, and he still found me before our first date.
I've only ever been on 3 dating apps in my life: Tinder, Bumble, and once, reluctantly, Hinge. This happened back when I was living in Austin and going through a rough breakup. I wasn't looking for anything serious, but I missed conversation, and okay, maybe a little validation too. That's how I met Taylor. Or, at least, I thought it was her. Taylor's profile was polished, but not over the top. A few selfies, one pic with a dog, and a short bio that said, "Writer, coffee addict, tell me your favorite conspiracy theory." We matched late on a Friday night. She messaged first, something cheeky like, "Do you believe birds are real?" I remember laughing out loud. It was easy banter from the beginning. We talked until 2 a.m. She was sarcastic, clever, and strangely intuitive. It was almost like she knew what I was going to say before I said it. After a few days of chatting, we agreed to meet in person. She chose a bar near campus, said it had her favorite Moscow mules and soft pretzels. I got there 10 minutes early, nervous but excited. That's when I saw her. Same face, same wavy hair, same white hoodie from her profile pic. But the moment she looked at me, her entire expression dropped. It wasn't awkward or shy. It was confused. Like she was seeing the wrong person. Like I was the mistake. She walked over slowly, sat down across from me. "You're not him," she said. I laughed it off. I thought she was joking. "Well, I'm pretty sure we matched on Tinder. Unless you've got a twin running around." She didn't smile. We talked for weeks. He had a mole on his neck and brown eyes. I blinked. "I have green eyes." She stood up, didn't say a word, just left. I was rattled, sure, but figured maybe she got catfished before and was paranoid. I even checked her profile again afterward. It was gone. I deleted the app later that week, chalked it up as a weird one-off, moved on. Or tried to. 3 weeks later, I woke up to a text from an unknown number. It just said, "You're still pretending to be him." No context, no name, just that. I texted back, "Who is this?" No reply. I ignored it. The following night, I noticed something strange outside my apartment. A small white napkin on my windshield. The kind you'd get with bar drinks. Someone had written in marker, "You're a liar." No signature. I hadn't told anyone where I lived, let alone someone from an app. Then the calls started. Blocked numbers, always between 2 and 4 a.m. Never anyone on the line, just breathing. Sometimes it was slow and raspy. Sometimes you could hear whispering in the background. Like a woman talking to herself, but not clearly. I bought a camera for my front door. I changed my number. Nothing helped. The police couldn't do anything since no threats were made. My friends thought it was just an ex messing with me. I wasn't so sure. Then came the photo. It was slipped under my apartment door. printed on glossy paper. It was a picture of me, in my bedroom, sleeping. The angle was from inside the room, like it had been taken from behind the cracked closet door. I searched every inch of that apartment, called the police again. They found nothing. No fingerprints, no sign of forced entry, nothing on the camera. I moved out 2 weeks later. I've never been on a dating app since. I still don't know who she was, or if Taylor was even her real name. But what keeps me up at night, what I can't shake, is the feeling that whoever she was, she thought I stole something from her. A version of a person she wanted. Someone I wasn't. And somehow, that was enough for her to come looking. Not for love, but for revenge.